Hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So today I am doing a little quick review on the Clark sisters that came on Lifetime yesterday. I watched it this morning when I got up. Happy Easter to everybody. I purposefully waited to this morning to watch it so that I can't go to church. So I needed some type of Lord Jesus in my life. So as you guys know, I really think that, side note, I think I'm gonna start doing movie reviews a whole lot more. I don't know why, but I've been into a lot of movies recently. But anyway, if you guys know, when I do my reviews, I don't go line by line. Everything that happened. I talk about what stuck out to me, and I talk about mostly like the over and underarching things that I seen throughout the movie. So if y'all don't know, that's how my movie reviews go. That's how they get. So let's get to it. So let's just give a little bit of background here. So I'm gonna be honest. Let me say, I wouldn't consider myself raised in the church, because I'm gonna tell you, when I hear people say that they were raised in the church, I think about people who literally went to church every single day, like Sunday through Sunday. You was going to a Bible study. You was going to That's not how I was raised. When I was much younger, of course we went to church every single Sunday, as is. Once I got a little bit older, I mean, like I said, I went to church Baptist. Shout out to y'all, I'm Baptist. But I'll say this, like, growing up, yes, we all definitely went to church and stuff like that. But we, like, my family and the kids and stuff like that, we were never like forced into stuff when it comes to dealing with church. Also, I think a lot of that has to do with where I lived. So my family is originally from North Carolina, but in like the 60s and the 70s, the people, my grandma and her sisters, they moved to New York. So that's where me, my mom, and my other cousins was born. So I feel like maybe if we would have like all been born in the South, then that probably would have been a little bit different. But anyway, regardless, so I say all of that to say I did not really have a extensive knowledge on the Clark sisters. You probably, there was a lot of times like where there will be Clark sister songs playing, and I did not know that that was their song. I've heard the song, of course, but I didn't know that that was their song. My mama was I was a Yolanda Adams household. My mama stands down for Yolanda, okay? Now, if you give me Yolanda, I'll be here all day. But like Yolanda, Kirk Franklin, who else we got? Mostly Yolanda Adams. That's my mama's girl for real. So yeah. I'm, regardless of the situation. So I'm saying that's pretty much where I'm coming in. I have little to no knowledge about anything about the Clark sisters. One of the last times I even seen anything about the Clark sisters was when they performed at Aretha Franklin's funeral, and Karen sang down. Do you hear me? She sang down at Aretha's. Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. And so I've gone back and I've looked at a lot of their performances and stuff. Their harmonies are just, I just, it's so frustrating. Like, how is it that perfect? How is it that clean? How is it that crisp? We learned through this movie. So anyway, so let's get into the movie. So, I want to start off by saying this also about the movie. Then I'm gonna get into the details. Lifetime, for y'all, this was good. This was good for Lifetime. I did not watch the Aaliyah movie that came out a few years ago. Do you want to know why? Because I respect Aaliyah a little bit too much to do that. I was not about to disrespect the hell out of probably like my one of she's definitely top two, like my favorite singers of all, like I won't say singers, but artists of period. Like Aaliyah is top two, and there ain't no two. Like, she's top two for me. So I wasn't about to disrespect her and watch that because I knew she didn't sound off on it. I knew nobody that knew her signed off on it. I knew that nobody was here for it. And then for it to be terrible, of course. So I've already been shady on Lifetime with their little biopics or whatever. The Whitney one that they did, it was it for Lifetime, it was okay. But I'm gonna say this biopic It was really good. It was really good. The only thing I could say about this movie that kind of bothered me a little bit, but it didn't bother me too much because I understood, is the time jumps that they did. So it was like we went from like 1968 to like 1973, to 1973 to like 89, and then 89 to 94, and then 94. But I get it because it's not like, if they would have had maybe 2 or 3 parts, then they probably would have been able to flesh the story out a little bit more, kind of like how New Edition did, which is to me like an awesome, 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 awesome biopic. Um, but because it was like so condensed, I get it. I get why they jumped here and there and there and there and there and there. Yeah. What else? Yeah. So that's pretty much it. But in general, I really like this. So what I didn't realize until after watching this movie is that they mama. That's who the movie was about. The movie was about the sisters. To be quite honest, the movie was about their mama and featuring the sisters, the Clark sisters, and that's just a fact. The woman who played their mama, I can't think of her name right now, but she deserves, like, what can you get? You can get an Emmy from being on TV. She deserves an Emmy for her role. When I'm telling you, she killed that. I was terrified. Like, I'm talking about, she acted so good that I personally was terrified on certain parts of watching. So, like, when she found out, like, when everybody had found out that Denise was pregnant, and then the mama came into the room, no lie, I clutched my pearls. I said, bitch, we about to get in trouble. That is our ass. I don't know what she gonna do. I don't know if she gonna curse me out, if she gonna smack me, or if she gonna kiss me and tell me to just go out there and perform. But regardless, it's terrifying. She did that. Do you hear me? And the rest of the girls, they did that. When it first came on, I was thinking like, okay, well, I wonder how they're gonna do as far as casting. Like, I wonder if I'm gonna be able to tell like who's who. Although I don't know the Clark sisters like that, I know a few of them. Of course, I know Karen and Twinkie, and I know how some of them look. Man, when that camera first panned over and they showed the person playing Karen, I said, oh, girl, that looked just like Karen. Come to find out that's her daughter. I'm like, okay, girl, that's why, cause you look just like her. I didn't know until the end of this movie also that they sang pretty much everything. Like, talking about the actresses, they sang. My God, whew. Y'all took me to church a good 5 times throughout this movie. I had to throw things a couple of times because really, Karen, that's how you want to sing? Are you serious right now? Like, y'all were going in. Dorinda was coming through with the rest. I had to throw this a few times, but I should have known that the music was going to be on point. Who we got executive producer? We got Missy Elliott, we got Mary J. Blige. Come on. So the sound is going to be right, period. So, okay. So we start off in the movie, with the mama getting everybody up and stuff, and she brings them downstairs. It's like late at night, and it pretty much shows how she kind of sort of created the 3-part harmony in gospel music, which I didn't even know that their mama was pretty much accredited to that. That's crazy. Like, that is amazing. That's groundbreaking, and that's I can't even get it out my mouth. That's gonna stand the test of time, period, because it does to this day. So the fact that she was like, okay, so I need y'all to and I need y'all to and then I need y'all to and then we go let me tell you something. What this movie really let me know, and I had to go back and listen to a lot of songs and stuff like that, but it is amazing. I'm talking about amazing how you can individually hear every single sister, but at the same time it still sounds like one voice. What did he say? Drumline? One voice, one band. No, one sound, one band. Oh, come on. Like, that literally blew my mind. Like, even the actresses, you can hear every single person individually, but you can still hear them blending as one. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, blows my mind. Mama is amazing. Just the way that they put that together, it was a little bit mind-blowing to me, just a little bit, because I'm not a professional singer, but I do like to sing, and I pay attention to singing in general. I pay attention to all different types of forms, layering, vocal production, vocal arrangement. I like all of that shit. So that, it was giving me life there, okay? So we also end up finding out, that she was married, I guess, was it the pastor of the church? I think it was the pastor or the bishop, and, he was extremely, I don't want to say he's extremely, but he was abusive to her. She wanted to kind of go out, and teach her music and stuff like that, and she was bringing Twinkie along with her, but it wasn't, he didn't like that. He wanted her to be home all the time. So let me start talking about one of my underarching themes. Is the honestly, not just this. This is actually throughout the whole movie. The hypocrisy behind those in the church. Not everybody, but a lot of y'all in the church. Um, I'm not gonna say how many people I believe, but I believe that there are a lot. I mean a lot of pastors, deacons, and bishops that act just like that man do. Act just like that. Come to church all holy and sanctified. Get home and treat his wife and treat his kids like they are absolutely nothing. And that's a fact. And he said to her, well, I want you to be sitting in the front. And I can understand that as a preacher or whatever, a lot of them, they want their women, their wives who are first ladies to be there and stuff like that. But this is just how I've always looked at it like this. Now, not all. For some pastors, that I'm sorry, for some pastors, church is not their only job. For instance, at the church that I used to go to or whatever, I mean, I guess I can kind of still claim that church. I haven't been in a long time, but if I go, they know who I am. But that pastor, he works as a correctional officer or whatever, so he works in the jails, but he preaches, but he's still the pastor of the church. Now, I say that to say, if that is your only job, let's just say your only job is being a pastor. Currently, when my boyfriend leaves and he goes to work, I don't follow behind him. When he goes to work, I don't just pop up at his job and I don't just sit there all day. So some people may say, oh, well, it's not the same thing, it's different, but that's how I look at it. I look at it like, if this is your job, right, you can't expect me as your wife or as whoever it is that I am to now sit up there and be present every single time that you go to work. That's not how this works at all. And I feel like a lot of pastors and bishops today, that they have that sense of entitlement, like, oh, you married me, so that means you know what it's gonna be. And not necessarily. Like at my church, my pastor's wife, she don't come every Sunday. She comes a lot of the times, but she don't come every Sunday. Sometimes she there and her daughter's there. Sometimes she's not there and her daughter's there. Sometimes the daughter's there and the wife's there, and the daughter's not there and the wife's there. Sometimes it's both. It's not gonna be every single Sunday I can be sitting up here front with you. I'm so sorry, because people got stuff to do. People have obligations, and yes, you should always take time and stuff like that. But the thing that kills me is, it's not even like you're saying to her, oh, I want you in church with me. I want you there because you need to be in church more, or you need to be in there to love the Lord more. No, it's because I need you to be there for me. And that's extremely selfish. The whole point of going to church is not to sit there and support your husband. That's not the point of church. And that's not the point of a first lady, in my opinion, either. As a first lady, you just so happen to be, you're the wife of the pastor. Yes, but that's where that ends. It is no, in my opinion, I don't feel like there is any type of obligation that as a first lady you have to be there every single time. No, there might be certain responsibilities or roles that you may fulfill, as far as like being there and helping out here and there. But honestly, it's nothing that any woman has to do. Nobody has to do anything unless y'all giving her money to be that first lady. Don't no pastor's wife has to be a first lady. So let's always keep that right. I think a lot of people feel like that's the case. You don't have to. You could be a first lady, I guess, in technicality, but you don't have to fulfill that role if you do not want to. That is up to you. So yeah, so that kind of got me a little bit. Also, since we're just sticking on this theme or whatever, I also want to talk about the scene after, she went and she the mama did the Grammys with the girls. She came back. Now they were part of the Kojic COGIC. I've seen that before and I've heard, but I don't know anything about it because I'm Baptist, and I just, so if it's not within the Baptist realm, I don't really know. I did go to this was actually my other church. This was probably closer to being my church. I did go to a church that was a non-denominational church, but it kind of sort of ran like a Catholic church a little bit, but not too much, kind of sort of. So regardless, so I can't speak to the traditions or to what they hold dear to them. I do know, I've heard that it's very strict and it's a lot of rules. But anyway, so we get, she gets, in front of the archbishops or whatever. First of all, I want to point out the fact that there was nothing but men sitting in that circle. I want to point that out. Granted, this was back in the day, but I guarantee you, if you probably put something like that together now, it's still gonna be a whole. It's still gonna be a whole bunch of men. And I know a lot of people will be like, "Oh, well, the man is the head. The man is the head." Okay, but the woman is the neck. And so why was there not one woman sitting at that table, sitting across that whole thing? It shows a lot. Somebody brought this up in another video. It shows the way that as a matriarch you have to move within a patriarchal you know what I'm trying to say. It shows us has pretty much, it shows you at how as a woman you have to move within a man's world, regardless of who you are, the status that you have, what you've done. Because if it wasn't for her, people probably wouldn't even care, because she was part of like the international music program. If it wasn't for her or her daughters, I guarantee you people probably wouldn't even want y'all wouldn't be as big as y'all would. They wouldn't be asking for her. Y'all probably wouldn't get, because I know y'all get donations and tithes, y'all probably wouldn't get nearly any amount that y'all would get from that. I'm pretty sure there's a decent amount of people that probably joined that church because of the Clark sisters and because of their mom. So for y'all to pretty much like chastise her and try to make it seem like, she did something oh so wrong. Like she sat up there and said, you're mad. The whole point is to spread the gospel, is it not? The Grammys is one of the biggest platforms that is going to be watched, period. Especially back in the day, it's going to be one of the biggest platforms for music, period. So me going up there with my daughters is an issue. I went and I watched the actual performance that they did. I am just so confused on what they did wrong. I thought more than anything that the people in the audience would have been a little bit more confused. Again, they weren't singing secular music. They still looked, I guess, what you want to call churchy. So I don't really get it. In my opinion, what I think is that they got jealous, because even the guy said in that meeting, like, oh, like you're getting too big or whatever. Yeah, so y'all feel like she's getting bigger than y'all and bigger than the church. She's never going to be bigger than the church, but that's how y'all felt. And y'all felt threatened by that. And a point that somebody else made in the video, I can't think of who said it, because I watched like 5 reviews on this already. But somebody said that it shows you pretty much, like, how can you tell somebody that their God-given gift is somehow displeasing God? Like it's a really weird, it's really weird. And I think that this entire movie, specifically those 2 scenes in particular, points out and shows, even to this day, even though that was technically years ago that happened, it shows very clearly why younger people do not go to church anymore. I'm telling you right now, do you want to really know why? If we want to get to the get down, it's a lot of judgmental all across the board. A lot of people say that, but it's true. And people who go to church will be like, oh, well, you can't say that about every church that you go to, and this is that and the third. Okay, that's fine, but you also can't speak for me and my experience. I'm not saying me personally, but if I'm somebody who I believe in God or whatever, or I'm trying to get there, and I've been to maybe 4 churches, and it don't matter what church I walk into, I see somebody snickling and guiding, I see somebody being funny style, I see somebody looking at me all crazy, maybe because I don't have the clothes on, or I don't have this, or I don't have that. It's a lot of judgment that happens. It's also a lot of it's a disconnect. That's the word I'm looking at. It's a huge disconnect between the elders and in the church, and then younger people that either are already there or y'all try to bring in. There's just a huge disconnect there. It just doesn't click. Specifically, like, within the past 10 years, just in general, society changes, values change. So, for instance, I'm going to use this for example. Most people my age we do not care whether or not we don't care if you're in the LGBT community. We normally really don't care. I'm 25. I'm telling you, the majority of people my age, we don't care. We probably went to school with somebody, work with somebody, we cool with somebody. It's not that big of a deal to us. We don't see it that big of a deal. However, you go to somebody that's closer to my grandma's age, that's when you kind of run into issues. And it's hard for people to want to go somewhere where they feel like they won't be accepted. And I don't mean just people in the LGBTQ community, I mean in general. Why? As someone who, not me personally, but I'm just saying, let's just say that I'm somebody who I would like to find a church. Why would I want to go to a church if you are in that same church demonizing people. Even if it has nothing to do with me, you're demonizing everybody else, that I know. That doesn't make me feel good. For example, I had a friend when I was in high school, 16 years old. He unfortunately was shot and killed at a birthday party. And maybe the next following Sunday, go to church or whatever. And it wasn't the church that he belonged to, but it's also in the same community. It was a really big deal when it happened, because he was shot and killed, and there was a lot of other people that was shot as well. We get there and stuff, kind of somber mood. There's a couple people I see, that I know from school and around the neighborhood and stuff in there. But the preacher got up on that pulpit, and instead of preaching, I don't know, thankfulness and being, I don't know, grateful and all of this other stuff, he sat on the pulpit for a good 10-15 minutes and talked about pretty much, I'm just put like this. He kind of pretty much sat up there in the pulpit and pretty much talked about how is it that that person put themselves in that situation, and why you shouldn't put yourself in that situation. And that was extremely upsetting to a lot of people. Like, a lot of people, like, that was around my age walked out. I was one of those people who I told my mom, because I lived literally like 3 blocks up the street. I told my mom that I was going home because I was about to sit there and deal with it. There's a way to help guide people without tearing them down. And I think that's probably the biggest issue that the church in general has. And also, the church has a responsibility to change the perception. I know a lot of people will be like, oh, well, that's on you, that's on you. But if you want people to come, that's on you as the church. It is you guys, it's your job to change the perception, because that's why people don't come to church. People don't come to church because of the perception that they have, whether it be true or not. It's the perception. So I personally I can never honestly say, I don't ever see any black person, any person from the church in any of the communities I've lived in, walking around actively trying to talk to people, actively trying to engage with people. You guys go to church and then expect everybody to just come to y'all, when that's not how it is. I'm being real, and this is me not being, I'm not being politically correct at all with where I'm going with this, and I don't even care. You guys want people to come to the church, you have to go to them. And these are just the facts of the matter. Now, if you guys don't want to put in that work, then that's perfectly fine. But then don't turn around and demonize or talk bad about why people don't come here and why people don't go there. What are you doing to make the effort to make people want to come in? Where's the effort being put forth? There is no effort. There's a whole bunch of point, because they did the same thing to Denise throughout the whole movie. And it's like, I get where the sisters was coming from to a degree, because of the career and stuff. But at the end of the day, the funeral. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, that's not true, that's not what happened. It actually is true, because I've read and I've seen more than a couple people actually, her son actually went on his live. Denise's son went on his live and said that his mom was acting a fool at the funeral. And it was also put out that there's like a video clip, of like them at the funeral, but it was said multiple times, and I read credible sources that those videos were edited, like to make it so that Denise, to take out that whole thing that happened with Denise. But that actually happened for real. And for y'all to treat her the way that y'all treated her, it's because y'all were judging. Oh, because what is it? It's the I'm holier than thou attitude. Nobody's more holier than anybody else. It's just that simple. We all out here doing the best that we can do. You know what I mean? We're all out here doing the best that we can do. And so to constantly point your finger and demonize and say, oh, and this, that, and the third, and this, that, and the third, it's not going to do anything. Something else I want to point out also real fast, because I'm not going to be here much longer. Oh, I was on here a whole lot longer than I thought. One more thing I want to point out, and then I'm going to go, because I really didn't even mean to make this long at all. Another thing I just wanted to point out real fast is the fact that, damn it, I lost it. I lost what I was going to say. Regardless of the situation, I like the movie, but though, like, that kind of pointed out to me. I said I was going to talk about a couple things, but I only talked about one, which is the fact that there's a lot of demonizing that goes on in the church, and if y'all want that to change, then y'all gotta be the change yourselves. It's sad that movie portrays stuff that was going on 30-40 years ago, and I guarantee you that's still to this day that type of stuff goes on. Period. I didn't mean to talk this long, y'all. I'm out of here. Bye.